I defended my friend insulting my wife and comparing her to my ex because nobody controls me. Doubled down by having dinner with my ex to prove I'm an adult. My wife proved she's done, with divorce papers. The envelope was waiting on the kitchen counter when I got home. Not hidden. Not tucked away somewhere I might miss. Right there in the center of the counter where I set my keys every single day. Manila envelope. Legal size. My name written on the front in handwriting I didn't recognize. Inside, divorce papers. Fully drafted. Already signed by my wife. Just needed my signature to finalize the end of a 7-year marriage. Also inside, a letter. 2 pages. Lisa's handwriting. The handwriting I'd seen on birthday cards and grocery lists and love notes for 7 years. I stood there holding the envelope at 6:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Lisa was gone. Suitcases gone. Her side of the closet empty. Bathroom counter cleared of all her products. The small things that make a space feel lived in by 2 people instead of 1. All gone. She'd left while I was at work. Packed everything. Filed papers. Moved out. Ended our marriage while I was in a meeting about Q4 projections. I read the letter 3 times. Then I sat on the couch in the apartment we'd shared for 5 years and tried to understand how I'd gotten here. How defending my best friend had cost me my wife. How proving I was an adult who couldn't be controlled had proven I was a fool instead. How 7 years of marriage had ended because I chose my pride over her dignity. Let me show you exactly how I destroyed my own marriage. Step by step. Decision by decision. Until there was nothing left to save. I met Lisa 8 years ago. I was 28. She was 26. Friend's wedding. Standard meeting. We talked at the reception. Danced. Exchanged numbers. Started dating. Fell in love. Got engaged after 2 years. Married at 30 and 28. Good marriage for the first 5 years. Normal problems. Normal fights. Nothing we couldn't work through. My best friend Kyle had been in my life since college. 12 years of friendship. He was in my wedding. I was in his. The kind of friend who feels like family. Kyle was also the kind of friend who said whatever came to mind. Blunt. No filter. Funny when it wasn't directed at you. Uncomfortable when it was. Lisa tolerated Kyle. She wasn't close with him. But she accepted that he was important to me. That he'd been in my life longer than she had. That some friendships were just different. She didn't complain when I had guys' nights with Kyle. Didn't make it difficult when I wanted to grab drinks after work. Just asked that he be respectful when he was around her. For 5 years, Kyle mostly was respectful. Mostly. Then I ran into my ex-girlfriend. Her name was Amanda. We dated for 2 years in my mid-20s. Serious relationship. Lived together for a year. Broke up when she took a job in another state and I wasn't ready to follow. I hadn't seen Amanda in 7 years. Not since the breakup. No contact. Clean break. Then 3 months ago, I saw her at a coffee shop. She was back in town. New job. She looked good. Happy. We talked for 20 minutes. Caught up. It was friendly. Nostalgic. No weirdness. I mentioned it to Lisa that night. Ran into Amanda today. She's back in town. We grabbed coffee and caught up. Lisa's face did something subtle. Not anger. Just. Careful. How was that? Fine. Friendly. Just catching up. You gonna stay in touch? I don't know. Maybe. It was nice to see her. Lisa nodded. Didn't say anything else. But I noticed the shift. The slight tension. I should have noticed it more carefully. Should have understood what she was actually asking. She was asking, are you going to prioritize my comfort or this reconnection with your ex? I missed that question completely. 2 weeks later, Kyle and I were having drinks. I mentioned seeing Amanda. Kyle lit up. Amanda? Dude, I loved Amanda. She was so cool. Remember when he launched into a story about some party from 7 years ago. I laughed. Remembered. Shared my own memory. Then Kyle said, man, Amanda was something else. Lisa's great and all, but Amanda had this energy, you know? She was just more fun. I should have stopped him there. Should have said that's not cool and changed the subject. Instead, I laughed uncomfortably and said nothing. Kyle kept going. I mean, Lisa's more stable. Better wife material probably. But Amanda was exciting. You guys had real chemistry. I still said nothing. That night, I came home and Lisa asked how drinks with Kyle were. Good. Same old stuff. She could tell something was off. What did you guys talk about? Work. Sports. Nothing important. I didn't mention that Kyle had spent 20 minutes comparing Lisa to Amanda. Didn't mention that he'd said Amanda was more fun, more exciting, better chemistry. I didn't mention it because I knew Lisa would be hurt. Would be upset. Would maybe ask me to talk to Kyle about it. And I didn't want to deal with that conversation. So I hid it. First real mistake. Not the last. A week later, Kyle, his wife Jen, Lisa, and I went to dinner. Double date. Something we did occasionally. At dinner, Kyle brought up Amanda. Jake ran into his ex a few weeks ago. Remember Amanda, Jen? She was great. Lisa's face went tight. We don't need to talk about Jake's ex at dinner. Why not? It's just history. Jake and Amanda were good together. Before you, obviously. Kyle smiled like he'd said something harmless. Still not really appropriate dinner conversation, Lisa said. Voice controlled. Polite. But firm. What's inappropriate about it? They dated. It ended. Now she's back in town. No big deal. I should have backed Lisa up. Should have told Kyle to change the subject. Should have made it clear that comparing my wife to my ex wasn't acceptable. Instead, I said, it's fine. Let's just talk about something else. Not Kyle, that's not okay. Not Lisa's right, let's move on. Just a weak deflection that protected no one and changed nothing. Kyle dropped it. Moved on to other topics. Dinner continued. In the car afterward, Lisa was quiet. You okay? I asked. Kyle compared me to Amanda tonight. He didn't really compare. He just mentioned her. He said she was great. In front of me. That's comparing. He was just talking. Kyle says stuff without thinking. And you said nothing. I told him to talk about something else. You didn't defend me. You didn't tell him it wasn't appropriate to talk about your ex in front of your wife. You just deflected. What did you want me to do? Make a scene at dinner? I wanted you to back me up. To make it clear that comparing me to Amanda isn't okay. You're being too sensitive. Kyle didn't mean anything by it. She went quiet. Looked out the window the rest of the drive home. I thought it was over. Thought she'd drop it. She didn't drop it. She internalized it. Added it to a list I didn't know she was keeping. 2 weeks after that, Kyle called me. Hey, Amanda's in town. Bunch of us are getting drinks Friday. You should come. Amanda's going to be there? Yeah. She's reconnecting with old friends. Come on, it'll be fun. Like old times. I hesitated. Knew Lisa wouldn't love this. I don't know, man. What, you need permission now? Come on. You're an adult. You can have drinks with old friends. That word. Permission. It triggered something in me. Some defensive instinct about not being controlled. I'll be there, I said. Told Lisa that night. Going out for drinks Friday with Kyle and some people. What people? Just old friends. Amanda? I paused too long. She might be there. It's a group thing. Lisa looked at me. You're going to drinks with your ex-girlfriend. I'm going to drinks with a group of friends. Amanda happens to be there. Did Kyle set this up? He mentioned it. But I want to go. These are my friends. Your friends who you haven't seen in years until your ex came back to town. That's not fair. What's not fair is you going to hang out with your ex after your best friend spent dinner comparing her to me. Nobody's comparing anyone. It's drinks with friends. Then I'm coming with you. What? No. It's a guy's thing. Amanda's a guy? It's not a couple's thing. It's casual. So casual I can't come, but your ex can be there. You're making this into something it's not. Then don't go. And here's where I made the biggest mistake. Where I chose pride over partnership. I'm going, I said. I'm an adult. I can have drinks with whoever I want. You don't control me. Those words. You don't control me. Lisa stared at me. I'm not trying to control you. I'm asking you to consider how this looks. How it feels. To have your best friend compare me to your ex, and then have you run off to drinks with her. I'm not running off anywhere. It's one night of drinks. Fine. Go. Thank you. I didn't give you permission. I said go. There's a difference. I went out Friday night. Met Kyle and 3 other guys from college. And Amanda. She looked good. Happy. We talked. Laughed about old times. Caught up more deeply than the coffee shop conversation. It was fun. Easy. No pressure. Just old friends reminiscing. I got home at midnight. Lisa was still up. Reading in bed. How was it? She asked. Voice neutral. Good. Fun to see everyone. How is Amanda? She's good. Happy. Her new job is going well. You guys talk a lot? Some. Just catching up. Are you going to keep seeing her? What do you mean? Are you going to make this a regular thing? Hanging out with your ex? She's not my ex, she's an old friend who I used to date. That's the definition of an ex. You're making this weird. It was one night of drinks with a group of people. You defended Kyle comparing me to her. You went to drinks with her after I asked you not to. And now you're acting like I'm being unreasonable for being uncomfortable. You are being unreasonable. I'm allowed to have friends. I never said you weren't. I said this specific situation feels disrespectful. And you don't care. I do care. Then show me. Tell Kyle to stop bringing up Amanda. Don't go to group hangs where your ex is the reason for the gathering. Just show me you care more about my feelings than proving you can't be controlled. I should have said yes. Should have recognized this was a reasonable ask. Should have understood that Lisa wasn't trying to control me. She was trying to protect our marriage from my own stupid pride. Instead, I said, I'm not going to let you dictate who I can and can't be friends with. She closed her book. Turned off her light. Rolled over to face away from me. Good night, Jake. That was 6 weeks ago. The next few weeks, things were tense. Lisa was distant. Polite but cold. We existed in the same space but we weren't really together. I told myself she'd get over it. That she was being dramatic. That eventually she'd see I was right. Then Kyle invited me to lunch. Just us. Need to talk to you about something. We met at a restaurant downtown. Halfway through lunch, Amanda walked in. Oh hey, Amanda's here, Kyle said. Way too casual. Like he hadn't planned this. She sat down. Joined us. It became clear very quickly that Kyle had invited her. That this lunch with just us had been a setup. I should have left. Should have told Kyle this wasn't cool. Should have recognized I was being manipulated. Instead, I stayed. Talked with Amanda. Laughed. Finished lunch. Didn't tell Lisa that night. She found out anyway. Because Kyle's wife Jen told her. Jen called Lisa. Did Jake tell you he had lunch with Amanda? Lisa, what? Jen, Kyle set them up. Said he wanted them to reconnect as friends. I thought it was weird but Kyle said Jake was fine with it. Lisa called me at work. You had lunch with Amanda? My stomach dropped. Kyle invited her. I didn't know she was coming. But you stayed. It would have been rude to leave. It would have been appropriate to leave. Lisa. I'm done talking about this. We'll discuss it when you get home. She hung up. I drove home that night feeling defensive. Feeling like I'd been ambushed. Feeling like Lisa was overreacting and I needed to stand my ground. Got home at 6:30 p.m. Lisa was in the kitchen. Dinner made. Set out on the table. We sat down. Ate in silence for 5 minutes. Then Lisa spoke. I need you to understand something. Kyle is disrespecting me. Openly. Comparing me to Amanda. Setting up situations where you're with her. And you're allowing it. You're choosing your friendship with Kyle over my dignity. That's not what's happening. Then what is happening? Kyle's being Kyle. He doesn't have a filter. He doesn't mean anything by it. He means it. He liked Amanda. He thinks you married the wrong woman. And he's trying to fix his perceived mistake. That's insane. Is it? Think about his actions. Really think about them. I thought about it. Saw her point. Pushed it away because accepting it would mean admitting I'd been wrong. Kyle's my best friend. He just wants me to be happy. I'm your wife. I want you to be happy too. And I'm telling you that the way Kyle treats me makes me unhappy. And you're choosing him. I'm not choosing anyone. Yes, you are. Every time you defend him instead of me. Every time you prioritize not rocking the boat with Kyle over protecting my feelings. You're choosing. So what do you want? You want me to end a 12-year friendship because you're uncomfortable? I want you to set boundaries. I want you to tell Kyle that comparing me to Amanda isn't acceptable. I want you to stop attending events where Amanda is clearly being positioned as an alternative to me. I want my husband to act like he's married. I am acting like I'm married. You're acting like you're a single guy trying to prove he can't be controlled. There's a difference. We fought for 2 hours. Circular arguments. Both of us getting more entrenched. Both of us saying things we didn't mean. Finally, Lisa said, I can't do this anymore. Can't do what? Fight for basic respect in my own marriage. I'm tired, Jake. I'm tired of being compared to Amanda. Tired of watching you prioritize Kyle's feelings over mine. Tired of being told I'm controlling when I'm just asking for basic consideration. You're not tired. You're being dramatic. Wrong thing to say. I knew it the second it left my mouth. Lisa stood up. I'm going to bed. Sleep wherever you want. She went to the bedroom. Closed the door. I slept on the couch. Next morning, she was gone before I woke up. Left for work early. Came home late. We barely spoke for 3 days. The following week, Kyle called. Hey, wanna grab dinner Friday? Amanda's going to be there. Just the 3 of us. Every alarm bell should have been ringing. Every instinct should have been screaming no. Instead, I heard you can't control me in my head. Heard Lisa's voice telling me what I could and couldn't do. Felt that defensive pride kick in again. Yeah, I said. I'll be there. I told Lisa Thursday night. I'm having dinner with Kyle tomorrow. Just Kyle? I hesitated. Amanda might be there. Might be or is? Is. She's going to be there. Lisa looked at me for a long moment. You're having dinner with your ex-girlfriend and your best friend who's been disrespecting me for weeks. It's just dinner. It's a choice. You're choosing to go to dinner with her over staying home with me. I'm allowed to have dinner with friends. Then I'm allowed to be done. Done with what? This conversation. This marriage. This version of you that cares more about proving you can't be controlled than about being a good husband. Now who's being dramatic? She walked away. Went to the bedroom. Closed the door. I went to dinner Friday night. Me, Kyle, Amanda. Nice restaurant. Good conversation. We talked about old times. Laughed. It felt easy. Comfortable. Amanda at one point said, it's nice to have you back in my life. I miss this. I should have clarified. As friends. It's nice as friends. Should have maintained clear boundaries. Instead I said, yeah. Missed this too. Kyle watched the whole thing with this satisfied smile. Like he'd accomplished something. Dinner ended at 10 p.m. I drove home. Lisa was still up. Sitting in the living room. Waiting. How was dinner? She asked. Fine. Just dinner. With your ex-girlfriend. With old friends. Did you tell her about me? About us? About the fact that you're married? She knows I'm married. Did you talk about me at all? I hadn't. Hadn't mentioned Lisa once during the 3-hour dinner. It didn't come up. You had dinner with your ex for 3 hours and your wife didn't come up. That's really all I need to know. What's that supposed to mean? It means you're checking out of this marriage. Maybe not consciously. But you're doing it. And I can't stop you. I can only decide whether I'm going to wait around while you figure out what you want. I know what I want. I want you. I want this marriage. Then act like it. Stop seeing Amanda. Tell Kyle to stop disrespecting me. Choose your wife over your pride. And here's where I made the final, fatal mistake. I'm not going to be controlled, I said. By you or anyone else. I'm an adult. I can have dinner with whoever I want. If you can't handle that, that's your problem. Lisa stood up. Looked at me with something I'd never seen before. Not anger. Not hurt. Just. Done. Complete emptiness where love used to be. Okay, she said quietly. You're right. This is my problem. And I'm going to solve it. She went to bed. I slept on the couch again. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, Lisa had been distant but functional. We existed in the same space. Barely spoke. She was cold but not hostile. Just. Absent. I thought she was cooling off. Thought we'd eventually talk and work through it. I was wrong. She was planning. Quietly. Carefully. Talked to a lawyer. Filed papers. Packed her things slowly over 2 weeks. Made arrangements. And today, while I was at work, she left. I'm sitting on the couch now. 8:23 p.m. Divorce papers on the coffee table. Letter in my hands. The letter says everything I should have heard but didn't want to listen to. Jake. By the time you read this, I'll be gone. I've filed for divorce. Everything you need is in the envelope. I need you to understand something. This isn't about Amanda. Not really. It's about you choosing pride over partnership. Kyle disrespected me for months. Compared me to your ex. Set up situations where you were with her. And you defended him. Every single time. Because admitting he was wrong would mean admitting you were wrong. And your pride couldn't handle that. You had dinner with Amanda after I explicitly told you it hurt me. You did it anyway. Not because you love her. Not because you're leaving me for her. But because you needed to prove that I couldn't control you. But I was never trying to control you. I was trying to protect us. To protect the marriage we built. To ask for basic respect and consideration. You saw it as control because you'd rather be right than be married. I loved you. For 7 years, I loved you. But I can't love someone who won't defend me. Who won't choose me. Who sees my hurt and calls it manipulation. You wanted to prove you're an adult who can't be controlled. You proved it. You also proved you're not a husband I can trust. Not a partner I can rely on. Not someone who values my dignity more than his pride. So I'm done. Not because I stopped loving you. Because loving you was destroying me. The papers are filed. Please sign them. Make this easy. I hope you find whatever it is you're looking for. I hope it's worth what it cost you. Lisa. I read it 3 times. Each time hoping the words would change. They don't. My phone is next to me. I pick it up. Think about calling her. Begging her to come back. Promising to change. I don't call. Because what would I say? I'm sorry I defended Kyle? Too late. I'll never see Amanda again? Should have done that months ago. You were right? She knows. I set the phone down. Look at the divorce papers. 7 years of marriage reduced to a legal document that needs one signature. I think about Kyle. My best friend. 12 years of friendship. The guy I chose over my wife repeatedly. Wonder if he'll be there when I'm alone. Wonder if proving I couldn't be controlled was worth being alone. I know the answer. It wasn't. It isn't. But knowing that now doesn't change anything. Lisa's gone. The marriage is over. All because I couldn't tell my best friend to shut up and respect my wife. All because I saw boundary setting as control instead of care. All because I chose pride over love. Over and over. Until there was no love left. My phone buzzes. Text from Kyle. Hey man, wanna grab drinks? Amanda's free too. I stare at the text. At this friend who helped destroy my marriage. Who spent months undermining my wife. Who positioned my ex as an alternative until I was stupid enough to take the bait. I type back, no. He responds, come on. Don't let Lisa control your social life. I block his number. Should have done that months ago. Would still be married if I had. I sit in the silence of the apartment. My apartment now. Just mine. Everything I fought so hard to protect. My friendship with Kyle. My right to see Amanda. My pride. My independence. All of it here with me. In this empty apartment. With divorce papers on the table. And Lisa's gone. I defended my friend insulting my wife because nobody controls me. I doubled down by having dinner with my ex to prove I'm an adult. My wife proved she's done. With divorce papers. I was so busy proving I couldn't be controlled that I didn't notice I was destroying the one thing worth protecting. 7 years. Gone. Because I couldn't tell my best friend to respect my wife. Because I couldn't miss one dinner with my ex. Because I couldn't admit that setting boundaries isn't control. Because I'm a fool who mistook pride for strength. And now I'm alone. With all my pride. And none of my wife. I signed the papers. What else is there to do?